Hello, good evening. It's Monday and it's rather a hot one, so I have got my fan on, so I hope you can still hear me over the top of it. But it is rather warm in here. I've been in here all day, and then this last hour the sun, even though it's gone down now, started to hit the window, and it just, well, it started to warm up, shall we say, in here. So anyway, it is Monday, so we are going to be playing with our monthly makes today. So it is that lovely key. I've not really got an idea what we're doing, which is never a good place to start, is it? But we'll see. We'll have a bit of a play and see where it takes us. So I, for once, I'll show you what I've got on my desk. This is as far as I've got. So I have got a black base card, which was meant to be an 8x8, but it's not. It's about a 7 3/4, and I've got a 7-inch bit cut down, and I think I'm just going to go really, really inky tonight. So if the fan is too loud, let me know. Evening, Mum. Because like I say, I have got, it has gone rather roasty toasty in here. I'm not complaining, but it was a little bit too hot, so just had to turn my fan on. Right, so I want some inks, and I want this really inky, grungy, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go for a bit of, I'm going to say, I might do like antique linen again. I actually thought that was tea dye on my desk, but it's not. So what have I done with my tea dye? Bit of tea dye, there we go. And I want a bit of walnut stain or something like that, forest moss. Or, oops, I just dropped one on the floor. To pick that up in a little bit. Probably the colour I'm looking for as well, knowing my look. I do have a tendency of throwing the ones I need on the floor. A bit of forest moss. I don't quite, I'm not sure about forest moss. Might just go for walnut stain. Keep finding forest moss. Ah, here we go. Ooh, a bit of scorched timber maybe. I might even change it up a bit. I'll do that instead. Right, I've got my inks, so let's just get inking, shall we? There we go. Right, might have to turn this fan off because it's blowing everything, as you can see. It has been a glorious day today. There we go. So I am starting with a brown piece of card. Well, it's not brown, it's more beige-ish. I'm just going to create splodges on here. Nothing, I've not really got a plan, it's just splodges of my inks to get a lovely inky background going. I think I'm done with my tea dye. Let's grab a little bit of walnut stain. Ooh, I always forget how dark walnut stain is. And again, blotchy really doesn't matter because it's our background, and I know I always say that, but it really doesn't. Oh, and before I forget, Aldi have their little whatchamacallit brushes back in. Chalk brushes in. So if you like me and you like their brushes for doing your blendings and things, they're in at the moment, and they've got a little dinky one, it's only about that big, and that'll be really good, won't it, for our, gone a bit dark, so I'm just going to knock it back a bit with our tea dye. There we go. Right, and then we're going to put a bit of that scorched timber in. It's got that lovely green to it, hasn't it, the scorched timber. There. Maybe I should have started with white card so I could see where I was putting my inks down. I know, there's always one in there. Again, just adding a little bit. So it doesn't look much at the moment, but hopefully it will start to as we go along. I'm just going to tie it all together because at the moment it looks a little bit like I've just put splodges of ink on my card, which I have. There we go. And again, it really does look like splodges of ink, but that's fine. Let's splatter it first, shall we? So I'm just going to put some water in my hand. I should have filled up my water bottle. Even my backup water bottle's not got water in it. So you can see where that lovely ink is just reacting. Okay, right, I'm not going to do any more on that. And now we're just going to splodge it. Might decide to put a bit more on in a minute, but I actually put way more than I thought on. There we go. And then let's get rid of all this on my desk as well. Otherwise I'm just going to end up with it everywhere, aren't I? There we go. And I think I've got wet hands now. Yeah, I think before I do anything else I'm going to dry that. And then we might put a little bit more ink over the top. Making sure it's as dry. Oh, good evening, Tracy. I hope you're doing well. Right. There we go. I'm going to go with that, I think. And then if I can find... Oh, there you go. A nice big piece of acetate. Got one off a polyplate. I'm not sure where the polyplate is, but it will do for what we need, won't it? I'm just going to put a few bits of... I've gone for my walnut stain. I've not gone for that scorched timber because I think it's going to be too much. And I don't think tea dye will be enough. But it's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, isn't it? I'm a bit heavy-handed. Maybe I should have gone with our tea dye first. You know what? I'm going to break my own rules. I know, I don't really have rules, do I? But if I did, this would be one of them. And I'm actually going to go backwards with my colour. Because I'm really liking how that's looking, so... I love being able to play with the like grungier colours. So if I'm getting it everywhere. Eek. Look at how cool that's looking. So we've got tea dye, walnut stain and scorched timber at the moment. And I'm going to put a little bit of that tea dye on, just to brighten things up a little bit, I think. got a wet patch. You know when you can see a wet patch and it's just not drying? There you go. Done. Ooh, hot. Bring down there. There we go. It's kind of defeating the object. Evening, Maxine. Object, isn't it? I'm using my heat gun, but I've got a fan going at the same time. Right, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of our tea dye back on because I'm making a bit of a concoction tonight. Oh yes. I ended up making a bit of a frame, I didn't mean to. But I do like it. Right, stop, girl. Right, I think I'm quite happy with that. I think. But like I said before, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do tonight, but we're going inky, building up our layers, and then, yeah, we'll do something with it. Just knock my fan off. No, and I'll move it instead. It was dangling dangerously, as the kids would say. It's not anymore, it's on the floor now. Right, so I've got a pretty nice background, and I think that's going to look quite nice on there. And I've got a bit of a chuff. I've got my chuffy upper, which we'll do the edges with. So, decision time. Put that over there. We have got either our lovely grungy. I think I'm going to go with that one. Sorry, I was going to use the little key because I never use that little key, but I think I'm just going to use that one, to be honest. I am. Because it does really make such a fabulous background, doesn't it? Yeah. Right. But I want it to also stand out a bit, so I'm going to grab my black. I want some black. I want an anti-static pad because we have our squeaky chair again. And I'm going to need my spoon out of this one. It does look pretty good, doesn't it, Maxine? I am toying with getting my distress spritzers out because honestly I am loving those at the moment. That's not the one. Oh no, that's not the one I wanted, but I wanted the spoon out of it. So I'm thinking we're going to put our antique black on it, embossing powder, and then we might do a little bit of colouring with our spritzers and just a bit of splattering with them as well. Let me just wipe that because it's got grey on it. Don't know what I've done with all my spoons. I used to have a spoon in every single, I know it sounds daft, doesn't it? I had a spoon in every single embossing powder. And I must use them and then leave them to one side. So colours for that one, it is tea dye, walnut stain and Scottish timber is what we've used. And we have literally just, well, you saw what I did. Just threw it on and hoped for the best until we were happy with it. And you know the bit I think it was putting that tea dye on at the end. It was starting to go a bit too dark, wasn't it? Right. Let's get this bit ready as well. But it is looking pretty cool, that background. Go. Didn't realise I was running out of embossing powder. Right, so let's get this inked up. And let's just see where we go with it. That one. And I can just see it because I'm using my tinted. And then what we'll do is we'll put this one, she says, there we go. We'll get the embossing powder on this because it is so hot tonight, which I'm not complaining about. I like the warm. Oh. Makes a change, doesn't it, being nice and warm. There we go. Look how full that's looking. And I've got a nice big splodge on my desk. There we go. Right, let's get our next bit stamped up. I'm just putting this in wherever we fancy. Doesn't really link together, this one. You can kind of jiggle it so it links, if that makes sense. There is no right or wrong way of getting this one to line up. I'm going to put my embossing powder on again and do that last little bit because I can't quite see. There we go. And I am going to pop a little bit in here, so I'm just going to ink up that bit there, I think. Just because it was a little bit too big to leave. And I know I did say I might chop up the edges as well. So. There we go. Thanks. Leave a spoon in that one. That's a go walkies, won't it? Put that back on the shelf, along with you and you. And let's get this. Actually, let's wipe my desk first because it was a bit of a. Well, you saw the puddle I left behind of embossing powder. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Right, I'm going to save my fingers as well, so I've got my peg. There we go. See, I left that gap just for my peg. It's always good when you think ahead like that, isn't it? You know that'd never happen if it was me. Evening, Noala. I know, I'm quite impressed with this background so far. It was a not quite sure what we're doing, so I'm just going to throw everything at it and we'll slowly take it from there. And my peg's not doing what a peg should do in holding things. But I do love this key background. I think you're going to see a lot of this, I'm afraid, because it's just such an easy background to use. And it just looks so effective. I can say we've got something similar-ish coming for Christmas. Not a key. I think it will be quite a useful background. Oops. I nearly missed the whole corner then. Right, there we go. Let that just cool down a little bit. So, look at that. How cool does that look? Yeah. Right, I am going to get my spritzers out. Now, I use them slightly different than what, look at state my hands, than what I should. But that is how it generally goes, isn't it? It's a really good one, isn't it, Tracy? It's going to be one of them that you just, and imagine this, oh, hang on. Imagine this with the industrial border over the top of it, or any of those ones, you know, the corner or anything like that. You can mix these together. Right, so I have got the walnut stain one, and I'm just going to paint a few little bits. I told you I get really messy. How am I getting so messy at the moment? And these are just fabulous because they give, I might need to add a bit of water because it is quite warm tonight. They just give such a sparkle. I don't know if you can quite see that sparkle on my desk, but you've got like blacks, browns, all sorts of colours. Whatever colour you get when you use the Distress ink or oxide, it is in there, absolutely cram-packed in. The only downside is you do end up having your brush full of sparkle if you paint with them, even more than if you did with sprinkler. Yep, so can you see if I just bring that up there? Don't know if you can quite see. There you go. Not quite seeing it because I've done that embossing that's quite shiny as well. So what we will do in a minute is just do a bit of spritzing with it as well. Well, splattering, not spritzing. And again, my really like quick style painting, nothing too much, but they are gorgeous. I haven't quite decided which colour is my favourite yet. I'll just tidy that up a little bit. I'm sure yours won't be as messy as mine because, well, you're not mess monkeys like me. But just make sure you shake them, otherwise you end up with bits. Well, you just end up with clear liquid, really. Well, coloured liquid. And again, I'm just doing this really, really quickly. I've got too much on my desk now. There you go, I'm getting really heavy-handed with it, but that's okay. What I was going to do was take it back out and splatter. When you spritz, you get like a really fine mist. What I found when I want splatters, I take that bit out and splatter with the tube. But because I've got so much on my desk, I'm going to be able to do it normal way. Yep. There we go, right. Someone said this one looks like an oil slick, you know, the colour of it, which it kind of does, because it's got blacks and browns and all sorts. I've got to admit, when I started using the Twisted Citron one, I got a little bit like, not too sure about this one, because it looked like copper in the light. Look at that. I mean, I've just taken off my brush. We're not getting the sparkle, are we? But it is there, honest. What was I saying? Twisted Citron, yeah. When I first used it, I was like, oh. And then Mr. Roo turned around, he went, no, it is there, you can see it. And I moved it in the light, and it's like, yeah, definitely green. And it's got that lovely bright green, the yellows, that dusky green in it. Look at that. It looks even better when it's, oh, there you go, you can start to see some of that shine. Looks even better when it starts to dry. So let me just get it out my paintbrush. She says, and she's got no water left. Sure, I've got a bottle over there. Got a little bit left. We'll have to be frugal with our water from now on. I meant to fill it up before and I completely forgot. Right, so I'm not going to touch this until it's dry, because I've got all that lovely spritz, distress spritz. I can't remember what it was called. I want to call it distress sparkle, because that's what it is. There you go. And we'll go around the edge on there. So now we need to do something else with it, because I'm loving this background, but I need to do something else, don't I? So I don't want to put it on top of my laptop because it's a bit warm. Actually, let's leave it there for a second until we decide where we're going with this. So we have our lovely big key that, well, you know I enjoy using this one. So, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think we're going to do a bit of tearing. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap. Is that going to be big enough? Yep. Right, we're going to grunge this up as well. Not to that extreme. Yeah. Just a little bit. Let's get our on here. Oops. Yeah, because I actually want it to stand out from that background, so I can't do it too much. Fine, and then we are going to use, oops, I've not turned my phone on to silent, made me jump. We are going to use these lovely corners using our tea dye again, so tea dye background, and then we're going to come over the top with our lovely Looks a bit like a trebuchet, that one, doesn't it? Maybe just me. It's not, it's a key. I am being really, really messy at the moment, aren't I? Really don't mean to be. And I know I don't need all of this paper because we are going to Oops, probably shouldn't use that tissue to do that with. So yeah, we're going to use bits of this paper. Yeah. Because obviously it's a bit big at the moment, isn't it? But it won't be. Mess is definitely fun, Tracy. You are right there. Definitely getting myself in a pickle making a mess the last couple of days. Local lady managed to come home on Friday again having burst a purple pen in a pocket. So her whole blazer was purple. I'm getting quite good though now. Now I know how to get purple pen out of a blazer. Just go and attack it. Best thing I've found is hand sanitizer to do it with. I know. Don't even know how she does it. It seems to be a Friday thing. So I'm not sure what lesson she must have Friday afternoons that causes us to pop purple pens. Or she just gets that hot on a Friday. There we go. I know it's starting to go a bit dark, isn't it? But that's okay. We can deal with that. Let's grab this one as well because we don't use this one enough. Or we haven't been using this one enough. I know I've got a buddy case that goes in his coat pocket. Yeah, we did try one of them. Well, something similar. Don't think it was a buddy case, but it was something along those lines. It didn't last very long. She must sit on a coat or something. Not a coat. Blazer. Right, I'm gonna stop, I think. In my head I've got, do we spritz it? Do we spritz that or not? Don't think. Though it is looking kind of nice, isn't it? Right, I'm not going to spritz it. And if it doesn't work, this is the point when you can all go, yeah, you should have spritzed it. It can be a proper told you so moment. Yep, definitely should have spritzed that. But I'm not. There we go. Oof. She did make herself like a little pen case thing to put in a pocket made out of fabric, and so that comes home bright purple as well. I think I need a bigger stamping base than that one. That was really wishful thinking. You could see, couldn't you? It's like, yeah, not gonna happen that. Oh, I've had embossing ink on my stamp, so it's all slippy. Trying to take it off. There we go. I don't have my Weetabix either by the looks of it, trying to get that stamp off. There we go. Right, we're going to stamp this on. We're going to leave ourselves a little bit of a border as well. We haven't completely decided what we're going to do with this yet. Don't like that, but I do like that. Right, I didn't like how my line was going to end up near one of those dark scorched timber lines. Yep, really didn't like the look of that. Which is why I turned it round at the last minute, because can you see it's fighting with that scorched timber, which is fine. Yeah, because I'm going to stamp it again onto white, then we'll colour this one in, and then we can pop it over the top, can't we? There we go. I'm just going to get this one dry and then we can colour this in. Otherwise you're just going to lose it on there with that busy background. Yep. Would have helped if I'd inked the whole thing up, but that's okay. And then we just need to colour this one in. So I think I want to go with my oranges, but I do like that scorched timber, so we'll have a bit of scorched timber. And there you go. Ooh, stretch. I'm going to do dried marigold as my base because that will work with our tea dye. Didn't need that much. So all I'm doing is I'm putting the orange down first to give us a bit of a orangey base, like a rusty base. A rust on my key, because it is an old key, this, isn't it? And again, I'm just throwing the colour down really quickly. There we go. And then I'm going to take some of my scorched timber again. So it does link into our background a little bit. There we go. Probably didn't need that much either. And then we just start adding our darker bits. Oops. Need to get it moving first. And then I am cheating because, can you see, I am just leaving bits of that orange showing. I've misstamped a little bit there, or missed stamping even. Okay. Yeah, quite happy with that. I think I've used more ink on my desk than I did on actually colouring it in then. So we're going to have that. Oops, daisy. That on top, and probably a bit of glossy accents on there as well, because I think that will look quite nice. But what I want to do is all these lovely lines that we've got in our black, again, I want to highlight. So I'm looking for my weathered wood. Nope. I can find antique linen, so that would work. Or antique linen. Oops. Otherwise we could be here for another week trying to find weathered wood. And I want this quite watery because it is just to highlight our lovely if you notice, I'm using quite a lot of water so that it moves behind it. So you can see there, we had that scorched timber. No, where's my scorched timber gone? Here. Got my scorched timber, so as soon as I hit that with my water, it just moves it away a bit. It lets my image come out a bit. Again, I'm going to do that on there and there, with our little bits and pieces. There we go. Right, I think I'm quite happy with that. Getting down my water. So we've got a lovely background. We're going to chuff up the edges on that before we forget. That and that. I want, and I've got the I wants because I do want to draw. We've got that plain corner as well, which I think if we're going to cut this down, we'll chop this out of something and create like a background. Might do 2 if I've got enough space. Maybe 1 because I won't have enough space. Just 1. 1 will do. Looking for a little bit of, there we go, that piece will do, won't it? So I think I am just going to do what we did a minute ago. My tea dye. Oh no, what have I done with my antique linen? Put it away. There we go. Just because it's a little bit lighter. Don't need much of this. So if I had a big line going across it, then I didn't like. And actually we might be able to use this for our saying as well. Would make sense, wouldn't it? I do like that background we did though. There we go. And I want, always at the bottom, isn't it? The ink you want is always there we go. I think I'm going to use this one because it looks a little bit more interesting. I'm going to leave a bit of a border because again I think I'm going to chuff up my edges. There we go. And that's going to sit behind there, I think. We'll see. And then I was going to put my saying on, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to start cutting this down so that we can see how it looks. There we go. I am regretting going so heavy-handed with that scorched timber. I'm going to leave them on one side for a minute because we might do something with that. You can see I'm already changing my mind how it's going to look. I'm going to cut this down. I haven't dried this, so I might end up with inky pinkies. Again. Let's put it like that. But that's going to go on the top like so. I want some black to go behind this as well. And then I think I'm going to cheat I think we might have, let's just space this out a bit. I think we're going to have a bit of Happy Birthday Handsome on this one. I know it's not in your monthly make, but I think it'll look quite nice. Right, but it isn't going to fit on that piece, is it? We'll figure that out shortly. We really will. Looks all bitty at the moment, doesn't it? But it will come together. I'm hoping it might fit in there. I think it will. I like having all my bits, you know, everything stamped, and then we can just start putting the stuff together. So we're having Happy Birthday Handsome. Again, I'm going to leave a bit of a border as much as this little squitty bit of card will let me. There we go. Whilst I'm here, I'll just draw out in case I didn't. There we go. Right, so let's start at the back and work our way forward, shall we? So I'm just going to use my chuffer upper. I'm not actually sure what these are called, an edger or something. But you can do it with scissors, but for me, well, I'm a bit dangerous with scissors doing this. I mean, sharp blades coming towards me or going away from me. It only spells poorly fingers for me. I love my little edge trimmers when I can find them. And it's also safer to let the kids play with. Well, not play with, make with. It's one of them noises though, so apologies if it's a fingers down blackboard moment for you. There we go. But you can see, because we use that coloured card underneath, when I chuff it up, see, I think chuffer upper sounds better, doesn't it, than edge? I think they're edge crimpers. Okay, nearly all the way. There we go, right. The only downside is you end up with bits everywhere. Right, so I'm going to put that on there. We've got this, and I am going to chuff this one's edges up as well. There. I was going to tear it as well. I'm still going to tear it, I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut this out first. I'm being indecisive, aren't I? You can tell why it always takes me so long to make samples. I had a day the other day just sitting and sticking lots and lots of samples together. Because I have a nasty habit of making, and then when it gets to the sticking together, it doesn't always happen. I started to go through my pile of sticking together. Can't decide if I'm going to go and cut those middle bits out or not. There we go. So you can see instantly, look, doesn't that just now jump off the page rather than sit in the background? Decision time. I'm gonna chop that down and crimp from the edges. And it's all because I did that scorched timber and it's just too dark near my black. That'll be fine. Right, move them out of the way again. And again, just quickly go round. Chuffing it up as we go. Tell you what would look really cool behind this, so that I can see any quickly. Oops, my finger. See, I got my finger then, but it didn't hurt because all the blades are tucked neatly away. If that had been a pair of scissors, I'd been saying a little bit more than ow right now. Right. Again, wash my bits away, thank you. That's going to go under like so. I want, I know, bad case of the eye once again. I was looking for I definitely want that the same size, don't I? So bear with 2 minutes. I'm just going to need to chop up a piece of card. Now decision time. I'm either going to, I'm going to chuff up my edges on this one as well. Sorry, a lot of chuffing up the edges tonight. But what it also means is they don't have to be as good when it comes to matting and layering. Because no one's going to notice if you've got a wonky edge when you've done a bit of chuffing up, are they? Yeah. And I did say I'd start putting this together, didn't I? But I think it's going to be one of them that we keep adding bits to as we go. Right, I'm going to move that to one side because we know we've got that. We know we like that, like so. We're going to do exactly the same on this one. Sorry, really quickly going around the edge. Tell you what, that black card chuffs up a whole lot easier than this white stuff. Don't want you, but I do want you. And again, I'm just going to roughly cut this out. What happened to my big scissors? There we are. Hi Tracy. I know I've been going on a bit tonight, haven't I? I do apologise. I've been getting carried away. There we go. just around the edge. Because I got a bit carried away, wasn't it, early on. There we go. Right, so that's going to go in there like so. Again, might put a little bit of glossy accents on there. Bit like that. Bit like that. That's going to go on there like so. Where did my Happy Birthday Handsome go? I do need to cut this one properly, I think, because then it'll be a contrast, won't it? I do get excited, don't I, when I start? Yep. Perfect. I'm just going to quickly glue. I know I filled up my glue bottle today. Oof. It does make a difference. I can actually glue things again. There we go, nearly there. Okay. I'm not sure if I just want a few little scraps of ribbon on there. Or, oops, if I can find in that box I can. I used to have some really cool brads that were like screws. I don't think I have, but I have got some quite nice brown ones. So, well, not brown, but like nails. 3, 4 to do that one, I think, and then I might do the corners as well. You're right, I think the corners need them. That big one, though I could do with bigger ones. Not got them. Come on. That was a bit of a bonus, wasn't it? I picked up enough. Just checking they're not in there. No, I've got heart and feet in that box. Don't quite think heart and feet will go on this one, will it? So this can go on here. See, any of these would look quite nice with brads in, wouldn't they? Squeaky chair again. There we go. And then before, there we go. Before I stick this one down, I am just going to use my, maybe I'm not, let's use my big one. Not sure where my little one's gone. Man, this is a little bit too big. Oh, that's definitely a bit too big. There we go. But I'm just going to pop a little hole in each corner. I could have used my pokey tool or anything for this. I used to have a lovely little set of purple ones to do this. This hole is slightly too big, but it will do. Got bits everywhere tonight. Oh, my middle shelf caught that, luckily. Got to say, an advantage of having a big tum. It actually caught something. There you go. So I'm just popping my brads on. I do love brads. I'm so pleased I found my tubs again. There we go. Right, let's get this stuck on. There's my gloop. You can see that's the colour it started off as. It's nothing like that now, does it? And I'm putting lots and lots of glue on because, one, it's hot, and two, there's quite a lot of weight to it now. We've put all that embossing powder on it. It's got a lot of inks on it. It's had a bit of a rough ride, this one. Okay, I've actually got a card tonight. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to turn that one round. Can't decide if I want to. Do I put that? Yes, I am. Keep going. I could have put brads on it all, but I think I'm just highlighting a few little bits. Tell you what I was going to do, I was going to add a little bit of spritz to my edges, but it's a bit late now, I've stuck it down. Oh well. There we go. And I could have put a few little bits of ribbon in. But again, I've forgotten, I've stuck it down now. Oops, I need my little... Okay. And again, I'm just going to add my little brads in. And then, I think... I know we need to put our key on, don't we? There we go. Got myself covered in everything. I do love just a little bit around the edge. I suppose it would look nice if I'd have embossed that as well. See, all the ideas are coming now. Just gonna add a little bit of glue for me foam pads, because I've got one set that I don't want to stick and I don't know which one it is. I don't think it's this set. It's amazing what you can do though with a little bit of ink and a little bit of mess. Ooh, nearly put that upside down. Never going to end well, was it? Put that there. And then finally, do the same on this one. I was going to say, I should really put a bit of foam pad down the middle. I will. Otherwise my key will start bending and I don't want that to happen, do we? I mean, it's not a very good key if it starts bending, is it? Won't you get you in many places if it bends? Oops, that's a bit fat. And then if we can, we'll get our glossy accents going. There we go. See, that really does jump out, doesn't it? And the reason I keep going on about my glossy accents is because this bit's kind of lost at the moment, isn't it? I didn't mean to shake that. I've got to spritz in my mind. Everything gets a shake now. Okay. And all I'm going to do is, I know it's Distress Oxide, and as soon as water hits it, it's going to start popping off and doing its thing. But I think it will look better, those few little dots. This one not so much because it's already been activated by water. And if I hadn't put this on, then foam pads in the middle, we'd have definitely had a bendy key. Wouldn't be getting anywhere with that key, would we? Right, so there you go. Put my pen back in my glossy accents. I don't know if you can quite see all that lovely sparkle we've got on the back. It really does sparkle. I will have to try and take a really good picture of it using our spritz. So what colours did we use? We used tea dye, walnut stain and scorched timber for our lovely background, and then obviously we used our walnut stain spritz over the top. Looks a bit odd, doesn't it, when it's on its side. And then for our key we used sun dried marigold and scorched timber, and then we used a bit of antique linen in the background as well. And of course I've used my chuffer upper because, well, it wouldn't look the same, would it, if I'd just matte and layered. Definitely needed a bit of something extra, but yeah, really chuffed with that. Looks cool, doesn't it? Right, there you go. I'm so sorry it took me forever, that one, didn't it? Thank you for joining me tonight. We are back on Wednesday and I'm going to be playing with those beautiful flowers, and I know I shouldn't really call them beautiful flowers because I drew them, but I do love them, and we are going to play with them on Wednesday. So they are the 3 sketches. I'm not sure which one of the 3 we'll play with. We might even play with all 3. But that's Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning. If you can join me then, and we'll just have a play and see what loveliness we can come up with using those gorgeous flowers. Thank you for your lovely comments. Was there anything else? Sneaky peek of next month's monthly make, because it'll be going out next week. I can't believe that it's come around so fast. So July's monthly make will be going out next week. Crazy, isn't it, how fast it's going? So keep an eye out for a sneaky peek on that, and then back Wednesday. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. I'll put my teeth back in. Thank you for joining me tonight. Do take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.